Some of the people closest to you are not real. They never were. What you called friendship was a quiet contract signed in the dark, where you agreed to stay small so they could stay comfortable. And the moment you wake up, something strange begins to happen. Phones go quiet, old faces step back. Conversations that once felt warm turn cold. You start to wonder what you did wrong. You did nothing wrong. You simply became someone who can no longer be used. The universe is not punishing you. It is showing you who was always pretending. Tonight we are going to talk about how life itself pulls the masks off, one by one, and why the people who vanish when you change were never really there to begin with. Think about the word person. It sounds simple. It sounds like it means a human being, a soul, someone real. But Alan Watts traced that word back to its root and found something strange. The word person comes from the Latin persona, which was the mask worn by actors in the open-air theaters of ancient Greece and Rome. The sound of the actor's voice came through the mouth of the mask. Personas, the sound through. So from the very start, the word for who we are pointed not to a real self, but to a performance, a face painted for an audience, a voice projected through a hollow shell. Most people never take that mask off. They wear it so long that they forget there is a face underneath. And when they meet you, they are not meeting you. They are meeting the version of you that fits inside their scene. This is why so many of the bonds around you begin to crack the moment you start to live honestly. Because honesty threatens the play. Watts said that the ego is an automatic mechanism set inside you by social authority since the day you were born. Layer by layer, the world taught you how to act, what to say, when to apologize. And the same thing happened to everyone else. Two machines meeting, two scripts pretending to be love. This is what most friendships are. Not evil, not cruel, just mechanical. Two people running programs written by their parents, their teachers, their wounds. And as long as the programs match, everything seems fine. But you are not a program. Something inside you knows that, and the universe knows it too. Have you noticed that when you go through a real inner change, people begin to leave? Not always loudly. Sometimes it is quiet, a text that never comes back, an invitation that stops arriving. A friend who suddenly says you have changed as if it were an accusation. You feel the sting of it and you ask yourself if you are the problem. But listen closely. What actually happened is that you stopped playing your old part. And the people who only loved the part are now standing on a stage with no character to react to. They do not know what to do with the real you, because the real you was never what they wanted. They wanted the mask. Alan Watts wrote something that cuts through this better than anything else. He said that nothing is really more inhuman than human relations based on morals. When a person gives bread in order to be charitable, when a person lives with someone in order to be faithful, when a person acts kind in order to be seen as good, they are as cold as a clam. They do not actually see the other person. Read that again. They do not actually see the other person. This is the whole secret of fake relationships. The people who love you for a role, a use, a reason, are not seeing you. They are seeing what you do for them. And the instant you stop doing it, the fog lifts and they are gone. The universe does not need to punish these people. It does not need to expose them with some dramatic scene. It simply lets you grow. And growth alone is the test, because a real connection can handle your change. A real friend can watch you become a stranger and still sit across the table with curiosity instead of fear. Real love does not need you to stay the same in order to keep loving you. But the fake ones, the ones built on usefulness, they cannot survive the moment you stop being predictable. They need you frozen. They need you convenient. And when you move, they break. This is the brutal gift of awakening. You start to see, you start to notice the small gaps between what people say and what their eyes do. You start to feel who is listening and who is just waiting for their turn to speak. You start to sense the weight of a room before anyone has opened their mouth. And once you see it, you cannot go back. The filter falls away, and many of the people you thought you knew begin to look like hollow rooms with nothing inside but echoes of what they were taught to say. Watts spoke of the ego as a wall of defense, around a wall of defense around nothing. Read that slowly. Around nothing. Most of the people who hurt you. Most of the ones who talked behind your back. Most of the ones who flattered you to your face and mocked you in private. They were not monsters. They were walls around emptiness. And they built those walls because they were too afraid to look inside. When you begin to look inside yourself honestly, their walls become unbearable to them. Your presence feels like a mirror they cannot face, and they will walk away from that mirror every single time. Now here is what most people miss. The universe is not cruel in this process. It is kind. It is a kindness that does not feel kind at first. When a friendship ends, when a lover leaves, when a family member goes quiet, it feels like loss. Your body reacts as if something died. But if you sit with the pain long enough, something underneath it begins to speak. And the voice says, this was never yours. This was never real. This was never love. You were holding it only because you were afraid of the silence that would come if you let it go. Before we go further, if this is touching something real in you, take a second to subscribe to the channel. This kind of slow philosophical thinking is not made to go viral. It is made for the few who are ready to sit with the hard truths and come out cleaner on the other side. If that is you, subscribing helps more people like you find this place. Now let us keep going. Here is the part no one wants to hear. You are not only surrounded by fake people, you have also at times been one of them. Not because you are bad, but because you were taught. You were taught to smile when you were tired, to say yes when you meant no, to laugh at things that were not funny, to stay loyal to people who were not loyal to you. You were taught that being real was rude and that being false was polite. And so you became a good actor. You became a person the world could use. And every time you put on the mask, a small part of you went silent inside. Over the years, that silent part grew until one day you woke up feeling empty in a life that looked full from the outside. That emptiness is not a sickness. That emptiness is your real self knocking at the door from inside. Watts understood this. He wrote that the mask hides behind mask, and reality is lost altogether. This is the trap of modern life. You spend years pretending, and then you meet other people who are also pretending, and you call this social life. You trade empty gestures. You swap surface kindness, and nothing real ever gets spoken. Everyone is on their best behavior. Everyone is managing their image. And underneath all of it, there is a huge, silent loneliness that no one is allowed to name. That loneliness is the cry of the real self buried under 1,000 performances. The good news is that the real self is patient. It waits. It waits for years if it has to. And when life finally gives you a crack, a break, a pain big enough to knock the mask loose, your real self slips through the opening. This is what a breakdown actually is. It is not your life falling apart. It is your false life falling apart so the real one can come through. And in that moment, the universe begins to clear your stage. People who were only there for the act will start to fade. Not because they are bad, because they have no role in the new play. And you should let them go. Letting go is harder than it sounds. The ego hates it. The ego clings. The ego will tell you that if this person leaves, you will be alone. That if you stop pretending, no one will love you. That you are being too sensitive, too proud, too harsh. It will offer you 1,000 reasons to go back to the mask. Do not listen. Watts wrote about the hidden price of clinging. He said we fall in love with people and possessions only to be tortured by anxiety for them. Every attachment you build on fear has a bill attached. You pay it in sleep, you pay it in peace. You pay it in the slow grinding loss of your own voice. The people who are truly yours will not cost you yourself. So how do you know who is fake and who is real? You do not have to figure it out with your mind. The universe will do the work for you. Here is how. Simply become more honest. Start to say what you actually feel. Start to stop performing. Start to let silence sit in conversations where you used to rush to fill them. Start to say no when you mean no. The fakes cannot survive this. They will pull back on their own. They will find reasons to be offended. They will call you cold, arrogant, changed, lost. They will accuse you of things that are really just descriptions of their own fear. And the real ones, the The few who are always real will meet you in that new space. They will not flinch. They will say, "I see you. I have been waiting for you to stop pretending. Welcome home. Notice what I said. Welcome home, because this is what real relationships feel like. They feel like home, not like a job, not like a performance, not like a careful balance of egos. They feel like rest. When you meet a real soul, something in your chest exhales. You can put your weapons down. You can say the wrong thing. You can be tired, or quiet, or strange, and nothing breaks. That feeling, that rare and quiet feeling, is a signature of a real connection. If you have ever felt it even once in your life, you know what I am talking about. And if you have never felt it, do not give up. Your growth is what draws that connection close. Watt said that genuine love comes from knowledge, not from a sense of duty or guilt. This is the key. A person who loves you out of duty is not loving you. They are managing their guilt. A person who stays with you out of fear is not staying with you. They are running from their own emptiness. Real love only comes from a person who has sat with themselves long enough to know what is real and what is not. Most people have not done that work. They are still asleep inside their masks. They are not bad. They are just not available. And trying to pull love out of a person who is not there is like trying to drink from a dry well. You can beg, you can cry, you can perform, but the water is not there. And the universe, in its strange and steady way, will keep sending you signs until you finally listen and walk away. You will also notice, as you grow, that the universe speaks in repeating patterns. The same type of person keeps showing up in different faces. The same kind of betrayal keeps appearing in different costumes. The same small sting keeps biting you from new mouths. This is not bad luck. This is not a curse. This is a message. The universe is repeating the lesson because you have not yet fully heard it. The moment you finally see the pattern and refuse to play it, the pattern ends. The faces change, the lesson changes, and a new kind of person begins to walk into your life. Not because the universe suddenly became generous, because you finally became honest. There is one last thing to say before we close. Do not hate the fake people the universe is clearing from your life. Do not spend the rest of your years making them into villains in your story. They are not villains. They are sleeping actors who wandered into your scene and did not know how to play a real part. Some of them may wake up one day. Some of them may not. Either way, it is not yours to carry. Watt said something simple and true. He said that love comes only in the awareness that one has no self to love. Read that once more. No self to love. Because the moment you stop trying to protect the little self, the little image, the little reputation, a much bigger love comes through you. And that love does not need to be given back. It does not demand. It does not cling. It simply flows. And when it flows, the people who are capable of meeting it will appear, and the ones who are not will quietly disappear. This is how the universe does its work. Not with lightning, not with punishment, with subtraction. It takes away what was never yours, and what remains is your real life. Small at first, maybe quiet, may lonely for a while, but real, and real is worth everything. If something in this message touched you tonight, tell me in the comments what moment, what sentence, what line made you pause. Your words may help someone else who is reading through the same chapter of their life. And if you feel that a certain person or a certain pattern came to your mind while I was speaking, write that down too. Sometimes saying it out loud is the first step to letting it go. Before you leave, there is another video that picks up right where this one ends. It speaks about what comes after the fake people fall away and how to build a life that no mask can touch. Watch that next. Your real life is waiting, and the universe, quiet and patient, has been waiting for you to come back to it for a long time.